The people of East London were delighted today to receive a royal visit from King Charles. The King arrived at the University of East London, where he was warmly welcomed by staff and students. Upon arrival, King Charles was approached by a member of the public who made inquiries about his son, Prince Harry. The King responded by simply dismissing the question with a chuckle, clearly not wanting to engage in any further discussion on the subject. King Charles then spent some time touring the university, visiting classrooms as well as the library and other areas. He also spent time talking to students and staff, expressing his admiration for the research and educational efforts taking place at the university. The visit was well received by all those in attendance, and many expressed appreciation for the King taking the time out of his busy schedule to visit the university. As the monarch arrived at the location, he was greeted with applause as he exited his black Rolls-Royce. The crowd heard a student shouting, "Please bring back Harry," as the King welcomed staff members who were waiting outside the facility. The King initially misunderstood the shouting student and had to have it explained to him by a member of his staff. An aide told him, "Harry, your son." Appearing unbothered by the mention of the Duke of Sussex, who unleashed fresh bombshells on the royal family with his memoir Spare last month, King Charles chuckled and said, "Oh." The King visited the University of East London to mark the institution's 125th anniversary. During the tour of the university, King Charles also opened their new frontline medical teaching hub. Earlier today, the monarch made a trip to Brick Lane in East London for the first time since becoming king. The King and Queen Consort were treated to a warm welcome as they travelled to Brick Lane in East London in the morning. As the pair proceeded down the ancient East London street, they were greeted by dancers dressed in traditional garb and carrying bouquets of flowers. Shortly after, 4 dancers and musicians escorted the King and Queen along the street, bearing flowers, platters and musical instruments. Charles and Camilla saw excited Union Jack-waving students at a local school during their tour of the neighbourhood. The schoolgirls were spotted giggling as they spoke to the royal couple while wearing their purple school uniforms, while the locals watched King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla also plant a tree. The visit comes as the King has shared his thoughts and special prayers with those affected by the tragic earthquake disaster in Turkey yesterday. In a heartfelt message to the Turkish President Erdogan, the King said he was profoundly saddened by the devastation caused. "My wife and I have been most shocked and profoundly saddened by the news of the devastating earthquake in southeast Turkey," His Majesty said. "I can only begin to imagine the scale of suffering and loss as a result of these dreadful tragedies, and I particularly wanted to convey our deepest and most heartfelt sympathy to the families of all those who have lost their loved ones."